The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Let's tidy up this tangle of film by putting it on a reel. Here is a motion picture film, 1,000 feet, 16,000 separate photographs.
Welcome, everybody, to the official space section of the chart.
The truth! You can't handle the truth!
Sir, you're out of order. Out of order. I show you out of order.
Hey, everybody, I'm Michael.
I'm Charles.
I am Martin.
And we're your real debaters this week, listener. Welcome back to the show. Welcome to
Wow, that was an actual real introduction.
I was
No.
trying to think when
Big
was the
one.
last time
we
we
actually
did
used
that.
our real name.
Yeah.
I know. I didn't even realize it. We just smoothly
Should
transitioned.
we do it again? It's weird.
Okay, hang on. Let's try to get. Can we do it twice?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, I'm Michael.
Hello there.
You had to shit on it, didn't you?
I had
no,
to.
I got
Fuck,
it wrong.
I had to.
Listener, welcome back to Where the Art of Cinema Meets the Power of Debate. It is a very special day here. We're recording this in advance because it is such a special day for the two of us, Martin, Charles, and myself. This is our
Three of
May
us.
the 4th special. If you're listening to this right now, I am well on my way to Alaska. I'm on a cruise
He's
ship.
on a ship right now.
I'm on a boat,
yeah,
bitches!
yeah, he's on a boat right now.
Smoking a nice cigar,
Oh, yeah.
having a nice whiskey.
Yeah, well, Alaska's legal, boys.
Oh.
Can't bring it on the ship, but I can do it while I'm in Alaska.
It makes sense
If
that
you-
Alaska would be like, they're so far away from the other shit.
They don't
that,
care.
You know, yeah.
They're like, leave us the fuck alone.
They're a
Oh,
country away from
there's a tuna, like a tuna style donut in one of the ports in Alaska. I can't remember where, but they're known for it. I think it's called jellyfish donuts. They're really good donuts.
'Kay.
And you do like a savory donut that's like a kind of like a lox bagel with tuna.
I'm eating
It's
so much
amazing.
right now.
I have to try
I'm
that
living
if
it
I
up
go
in
to-
Alaska. I'm salmon fishing. I'm bear watching.
Your Jabba the Hutt right now.
I
You're just living it up. Just
Disney
living
Jedi.
life. Just loving it up.
But we wanted to do this in advance, and it just so happens that the day we picked is the day Star Wars Celebration
Yeah,
happened the night before.
I had no idea that,
Hell
like,
yeah.
like I knew it was in Japan. I just thought it was going to be closer.
So did
to-
I. This is
but
2 weeks. in
Waking up this
advance.
morning was amazing. It was
God.
nice. It was really nice.
Christmas Day, boys.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
So, and Charles is like, I said, to Charles is like, I'm getting a late start here. Hang on, let's go by half an hour. And I'm like, should I go online today? Because like you, I thought we were weeks out. I thought we were going to do
Yeah,
our own
I
thing. We
thought they
wouldn't
were
have
gonna
anything
save
new
it
to
all-
talk about.
Right. Yeah, I thought they were going to
Well,
say.
Rob posted that stuff on the chat, so I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't catch that until after like I looked
Yeah,
at it, but I
I-
didn't really look at it.
I went on Instagram this morning. Like the way that I have my Nerdgasm account set up, it's just nerd shit. That's all my newsfeed.
Yeah.
So right away it was like Darth Maul is getting a show, and I was like, "What is this real?" And it was posted by Star Wars, and I was like, "What?" And then Ryan Reynolds. It turns out it's real.
It Sean
What?
Levy
Or
directing.
Ryan Gosling.
Hell
Sorry,
yeah.
Ryan there's so many
Those fucking
Ryans. Those fucking Ryans and Chris's, I tell you. But
Well,
yeah,
we'll have Reynolds on a Star Wars soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Down the
Well,
line.
especially if
Have him
Sean
down there.
Levy is directing it. I mean, my God, he's the Ryan
Free
connection.
guy.
as long as
Yeah.
Justin Baldoni
Deadpool
stops
Wolverine.
suing the two of them, maybe he can get back to making movies.
Yeah.
Also a Canadian filmmaker.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, I didn't
Sean
realize
Levy.
that. That's
Yeah.
wild. And and Canadian starring.
Well,
There's a lot of Canadian Star Wars power in one movie right there.
it's a big day for us. We're excited that we've got the extra stuff to talk about on top of the stuff that we had planned, which we've got 3 segments for you. The title of this episode is The Force, the Fandom, and the Future.
It might also be called maybe Luggage and Legacy. I'm
It-
really
we-
loving
we-
that.
that's the-
I'm really
that's-
loving that
That's
line.
the first segment
Yeah.
we have today for you is do we hang on to any of the luggage and create a new legacy, or do we pull the old legacy into the future and keep going back to the well? We'll
Right.
have that conversation like any Star Wars fanboy does, fan girl, fan person. That being said, before we get into it, we just want to let you know about some stuff.
talk about us.
We have another trivia night. Basically, all I'm saying is follow the show. If you've been to our trivia nights, if you like having fun at a trivia night, if movie and TV trivia is your jam and coloring things and cheaply made props and nerdy podcasters hosting a trivia night, this is what we do. There's another one coming at the end of May. Follow our social media so that you can always be in the know when tickets go on sale. We're always $10. We know our value. we know
but like we do trivia and then we try to give you a little bit of a franchise experience. you know,
Yeah,
like-
it's a safe place.
Yeah.
Like when we did Friends, it was a safe place to argue. Were they on a break? Were they not on a break?
Yeah, that
right?
was
Like
a great-
it's the room. It's not
And
just
you know what? We use a lot of cool props.
yeah.
yeah,
Right?
It's,
Not
yeah.
that we're prop comics, but there's some cool props.
Seinfeld had great ones. We had to tell people that
Don't use the condoms.
They all had holes in them.
We gave everybody an AIDS ribbon.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And
Some
they're like,
people
"Do
made
I-"
us think about not wearing it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
One person made a real big
Yeah.
a real stink, and I'm
Well,
like,
because they also seemed to not understand the joke.
yeah, like
They were like, I don't feel comfortable like promoting something. It's like, dude, shut up. Do you know where you are?
how hard? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Do you know what?
Also,
you are
did
the
you
minority
see what
here,
happens
sir.
when you don't wear the like? Do you not know the bit?
I mean,
Yeah,
maybe he was playing the Larry David character who didn't
Yeah.
like to do it because it would poke holes in
Yeah.
his fabric, and that's what he didn't want to do.
So I want to do a curb one, but I'm really nervous of the Larrys that'll come out. It could ruin the whole
Oh,
goddamn thing.
the whole room could
Yeah.
be just a bunch of
It's
assholes.
horrible.
I want to
like-
go as Asian Larry David for Halloween this year.
I mean, I think, dude, just promoting a Larry David impression all night long, like
Yeah.
best Larry David moments.
Yeah.
These are things
See
that we
if
would
anybody
like.
does
yeah.
Larry David as Bernie Sanders.
Yes.
That's a really funny one too.
Point is,
pretty good.
follow us. The link in the bio, the link in the show notes, the link wherever you see it on Facebook, Twitter. No, we're not on Twitter anymore. Facebook, Threads. Because
Well,
fuck
it's not
Tesla.
Twitter. It's not Twitter anymore.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, it's XXX.
Facebook. That's what I watch when we're done here. Facebook, Threads, and Instagram.
Threads is the new.
Threads is a new spot, baby.
It's the new Twitter. Okay.
Did you catch my thread
So I'm
yesterday?
not on Threads. I'm not on it.
Okay,
so what
did
do
you
I
hear-
do?
did you
Do
hear
I just
about-
make my Instagram like?
Well,
can I
well,
keep,
yeah, you can do it all.
I can keep the same like account and all that.
Can I tell you guys about my thread though? Yesterday, I was pretty impressed with
course.
myself. So Haley Joel Osment recently has been
Yeah.
in
I
trouble.
saw that.
Did you catch mine?
I thought that was old.
saw
I didn't
that.
know it was new.
Yeah, that happened. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, I ski dead people. So that's
Dude,
my
he's
Oh
he's the
my
guy
God.
from he's playing that. He's exactly the character from The Boys, Mesmer.
Yeah,
He's
that's
totally
what I
Mesmer.
thought. Literally, when I saw the headline and realized, because I thought because he got in trouble like 10 years ago for something similar.
Well, I mean, he was
So-
a child actor.
Yeah.
Bound to
so I
happen.
thought it was just that. So when I realized it was like a few days ago at a ski resort or whatever,
Yeah,
I
in
was
Montana,
like, whoa,
or Colorado, or something.
maybe the boys. This is viral marketing for the last season.
tying it in. No
Yeah.
kidding. Yeah. Oh my God, the two of that being spawning a real life moment for him. That's a pretty hard thing to swallow.
Well, you know what's funny too is every show like Silicon Valley he shows up in, anytime he plays a side character or whatever, he plays kind of a dirtbag.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? So even in
he was
Tusk,
a
remember?
dirtbag in Tusk.
Yeah,
too.
in Tusk he was such a dick.
No, he wasn't. He was the good guy
No, he was banging Long's girlfriend.
because she was in a loveless relationship.
Yeah, but he was also a dick. He was like he was the one that basically was like, "Oh, I can't go anymore." But
Interesting
you
that
have
you
to
see
go.
that he's. I
saw
like
him as a
this.
dick in it.
Okay, all right. Anyways,
Well, it
listener,
turns into a monster at the end.
is Haley Joel Osment a dick in Tusk?
Yeah.
The polling now.
Was he a dick in The Sixth Sense? That's the real question.
Was he? Was he just
Pay it forward. Was he the dick?
Was he? Was he? What do they call it? Not ghosting. When you're like
Ghost-
making someone think something different.
Oh,
gaslighting.
gaslighting.
He's the
Gaslighter?
original gaslighter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, AI.
Bruce. there's-
AI. He got Jude Law killed.
That's right. Such a
You know?
child
Yeah,
sociopath.
Such a dick.
Okay, so that's that. So let's go. Let's step off this moral coil and grab lightsabers.
That was our what we watched this week.
Blasters. Yeah, that was what we watched this week. Was the TMZ
Haley
clip
Joel
of Haley Joel Osment. Let's go to a galaxy far, far away. So, as Charles has mentioned, the first segment we're going to do here, and we're going to tie in all the things that have happened throughout the day, or in the last 24 hours into each segment, because Martin made a good point. He was like, why tell the people what you're going to tell them and then tell them again?
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yep.
So, legacy or luggage. First topic. How the way to the Star Wars is helping or hurting the franchise. Do we feel at this point, guys, that maybe calm down before you jump on me, like Marvel had to recalibrate because maybe they got a little lost in their direction, right? Trying to do so many things, trying to make so many different people happy. Is there now, do we leave the legacy behind completely? Do we still tie it in and pepper it in? What do we do? Charles?
You know what I would love to see Star Wars have that I hope Marvel does more of is these special presentations. So if you're gonna
Like Werewolf by Midnight?
yeah, so like for instance, if you're gonna touch anything legacy, it should be shit we've never seen. Like I would love year 2 of Darth Vader. What was year 2 like of him being Vader?
Like year 1 of Batman?
yeah, like you know, like because we've
Yeah.
never seen that, and it doesn't have
Yeah.
to be a fucking show. Doesn't have to be a trilogy. What if it was just like
Hour and a half?
an hour and a half special,
Like a Black Mirror
and
thing.
if it did well, they could be like, here's year 3,
Yeah.
or like a day in the life of Vader in between Revenge of the Sith, and A New Hope. Because we know what happens already with those ones.
Yeah. We do.
But we don't know what happens in between. But I don't want everything to necessarily be like 8 episodes. Like, I don't, like, I'm not saying they couldn't do that with Vader. They could fucking do a 10-season show with Vader if they wanted to. But what I'm saying is, like, we
did
love
4 episodes in Obi-Wan, technically.
Yeah, and it was great. Like, the actual conflict of Vader, like, we never saw Vader that. When he fucking force breaks a kid's neck just to move people out of the way, that's what I'm saying. Like, we've never seen that.
That made me
so
happy.
I went, yeah, man, and, like, the actual mask getting cut and them having that dialogue where it's Christensen all fucked up. Like, again, that I like. I think if you're going to touch Legacy, it's that. But the focus should be now moving forward. It's a galaxy far, far away.
It's a big galaxy, guys.
100%. Like, what if there's a whole area of the universe that doesn't even know about an empire? There's
Darth who?
Yeah, like, they have no idea, but they have their own conflict, and that could be something completely like.
And that talks about what's happening eons away or galaxies
That's what
away
I mean.
or
Like,
light
there's
years away.
Force users. Like, what I liked about Rogue One, I always forget his name, but Donnie Yen's character, the guy, the blind. The Force
I
is
am one
with
with the
me.
Force.
I
I'm
am
one
with
with
the
the Force.
Yeah.
The Force
Right.
is with me. I'm with the Force.
There's
yeah.
Force users that just aren't trained like Jedi, but there's Force
Do you
users.
think he was strong with the Force or just lucky as fuck?
No, he definitely was a Force user. He
Okay.
just had no
All right.
He was a Force user.
He was a Force user for sure. He was.
but
He
like
was the
not
Matt
everyone
Murdock.
in the Jedi, like not everyone in the Jedi
He's
Temple.
a daredevil.
Yeah, he was the
Rogue
Matt
One.
Murdock of Jedis. Like, he fucking trained himself.
Hey,
because
Disney owns both series. What if
Well,
someone was like,
Well, there's a
"Give
bunch
me a
of them,
daredevil
like, you know
guy"?
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
in the actual universe of Star Wars, like they had librarians,
Yeah.
people doing back stuff who were sensitive to the Force, but
For
just
sure.
didn't have what it takes to become a Jedi. So
Right.
that's what they would do, so that the Jedi could keep tabs of them and not.
Wait,
they
are you
wouldn't use
saying
their
that
powers for-
midichlorians exist beyond one line of dialogue?
right, right, and they could exist everywhere in the and that's the thing is, like, because up until Disney, Star Wars exposure was just movies
Yes.
and whatever
yes.
characters said in dialogue and whatever we saw.
That's a topic
So,
coming up, buddy.
The only way that we really saw, okay, you're either a Sith Lord with the Force or a Jedi with the Force. We never really had a concept that people could just be Force sensitive. Like Leia for sure, but there was always this inkling that, like, she'll train with the Jedis. You know, like, she never did, but, like, it was almost Luke's connection to her that would bring out the Force.
I think the main
you know?
reason that is the case is because during the time that we've had most exposure to the Skywalker saga,
Exactly.
all the Force users were either killed or captured by the Empire.
Right.
And before that, they were captured. They were taken and trained by the Jedi.
Right. Right.
in
Right.
The prequels.
They were killed
Right.
at dawn.
Well, yeah. Like, so I like the idea of us just experiencing this galaxy in a way that we've never seen. And, like, that doesn't mean the Force isn't there. Like, Andor, the Force isn't a focus in any way, I don't think. It's about the people of the rebellion, right? Not the Jedi,
and
not the Sith Lords.
That's
the
why
people.
Andor is so good, is because it's politically charged.
Right.
It's a
And
crime
we've never seen
saga.
it. We've never seen it.
And you've never seen it. Yeah.
But what we do see that's tied in Legacy is nice. Like, the fact that they're building the Death Star, you're like, right, because how the fuck would they have built that?
Yeah. And, like,
Right, like,
questioning things like smuggling parts and
Right,
things that
right.
are required to make things work. And,
Right.
Slave labor.
Slave labor.
Right.
Like, all of these.
oh, and those like, just because the war's over and you say you're not part of the Nazi parties, mentally do they stop just being like, yeah, I'm not a Nazi anymore?
Well, that's
that whole
that's
element,
the whole,
right?
That's the whole element of what you have with, like, the Mandalorian's villain.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
and
there's
I
still
really-
remnants of the Empire.
I
People
love
still
that.
trying to resurrect the Empire.
That's
and
right.
Trying to. It's a power vacuum. Now,
That's
right.
right.
That was a power vacuum. They're trying to get
That's right.
forces.
It's
the Middle East of space.
Because regardless, what's cool about those, regardless of the Force and lasers and blah, 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 people are making decisions. And these decisions are making these things happen.
And
right?
Stellan
that's what's-
Skarsgård is giving unbelievable monologues.
Oh, my God. And they're so good.
What have
There's-
you given up?
One of the I'd say greatest parts of anything Star Wars was when they're escaping that prison and fucking I forget it, Andy Serkis. That
Yeah.
whole fucking I was like, this is Star Wars? Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
That whole thing was amazing.
It's,
I mean, it's rebellion. That's what
right.
they were. That's the whole point of that show.
See, and
right?
that's
So-
that's what I love. Like, it's an idea of Star Wars. Like, I like that we have our Jedis and our lasers, but I want to see also just, like, what are people like living in this world? Like, what is that like?
I want a Christopher Nolan this. You know how he works in between time?
Yeah.
So there's so many things that have been said over 9 movies and a bunch of television shows and comic books and novels. Like there's so many things
there's a
out
lot.
there
Yeah.
that maybe, okay, the book readers and the movie watchers, there's probably a certain sect of book readers out there that the movie watchers won't read the books, right? Let's
Yeah,
just be fair.
yeah,
But
for
like,
sure.
if you said, "Hey, we're making a movie about this book that we've done, and it was really popular in the novella world,"
Yeah.
you could re-release it and push the sales to it. Maybe condense it into a graphic novel for people to to short form it. So I want to live in between now. I don't want to live in the Skywalker era. I want to live in the Andor era, the Mandalorian era. 5 years between changes,
Or if we go
where things are not like what was the one with Jude Law that you loved, Martin?
Oh,
That-
Skeleton
Oh,
Crew.
Skeleton Crew was amazing.
Still haven't seen that one yet.
Skeleton Crew
yet.
feels like Return of the Jedi just looking at the clips. Like it has that magical
The cinematic feel. To
the
it.
How do you
cinematic
not
feel
love
to it.
Goonies in space?
Yeah, right. So those stories
That keeps
are
grabbing
where
me. The idea of hearing Goonies in space, I'm like, fuck, that's cool.
I'm going to watch
Like,
it.
I know I
now.
will.
Like,
I know I will.
I just Sean is tough.
And you know what it was? It was the Acolyte made me very. I
Well-
watched a supercut of the Acolyte on YouTube. Martin, I'll send it to you. It's about half an hour long. It's all.
I've seen it all.
Right.
I've seen it all.
It's all the parts that are fucking worth watching of that show. Because the
I told you,
actual,
after episode 5 onwards is what you should watch.
it's phenomenal. Like it's kind of sad that
4 episodes
they
got in
didn't
the
give it
way.
a chance. They just didn't give it a chance. Like they needed a Kevin Feige to step in and be like,
Well,
the second half is good. First half, I don't know what we're doing. Let's rework that. You know what I mean? Like that's what that.
you
should
mean
be.
Filoni?
Yeah, I don't know if he even touched that one because
he did. He had.
did?
I read online that he did have some say in it, but
Son of a
he
gun.
wasn't the one who actually wrote the script. Like they
So,
did
see, and
go
you
in
could
for
tell.
consulting purposes.
and you could fucking
Well,
tell.
and he okay. So here's what I'm saying with in the in between. That's the in between stuff. That's great, but
Yeah.
then the Marvel thing of too much lore, there's excuse me. There's just a point where like the business model of Star Wars starts to get into the lore of Star Wars, and there has to be a balance because they bought that property for a reason. They didn't buy it because they're all fans. They bought it to make money. So
Well, that's why the first like 4 or 5 years were really shaky because
Yes.
they were just like money, toys, do it all.
when I
You know,
saw
like-
after the purchase, when I saw R2-D2 on a bag of oranges,
Yeah,
I was like, George Lucas would never sell this to Del Monte Fruit or whatever the fuck because he had standards. But when you see it in co-op, you know that Disney's like rights for everybody.
see, well, and again, at the end of the day, Disney makes more money on merch and toys and shit
Yeah,
than
yeah.
anything else, right? So that's their jam.
Let's go
I
to
think
Martin.
Matt
Martin,
Brooks said
yeah.
it the best, man. It's all about the merchandising.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Well,
so.
it's marketing your product. That's what it is.
Before we light speed into the next topic of this segment, Martin, what are your thoughts? Like, do you want more legacy? Do you want a little bit of both? Do you want none of it? Restart, hit the easy button.
I agree with Charles. I think it's time to move on from Legacy. I don't
Yeah.
think we need the Skywalker saga anymore. I mean,
God.
it was something that was great. It gave us the introduction to Star Wars. Now let's fucking see what else we can do with this universe. There's so much more story, especially with like Legends or the like extended universe that we could talk about.
The anime.
I think the fact that we have, I mean, you're always going to do the nod. As long as they still do the nod to the original,
Yeah.
to canon of where it came from,
Yep.
I'm okay with that. But I think the fact that the most popular thing right now is The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is not a Star Wars, not a Skywalker
It's
thing
not.
at all,
Yeah.
you don't need it.
But we got him.
Right.
We
Well,
got
and
him
that's
for a
what-
moment
and-
in
and
episode
we
one, in
did,
season
we did,
one,
yeah.
right?
And it was
Like,
dope.
But that's the
but
nod.
that,
But
that
that's
was
the nod,
enough.
Mike.
Yeah,
That's the nod.
yeah.
Right.
That's the nod.
That's-
That's the nod.
And it was great because again, it was something we had never seen.
That was tears.
Right?
We all cried.
It wasn't
right?
just like
Yeah.
him.
we all
That's great.
cry.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! It was so unexpected. I did
Shauna
not think at
watched
all.
me cry.
It was like, but you know what I mean. If this was in the '90s, it would have been him standing on a hill and being like, "You got it, son," or
Right?
something.
Yeah, it
stupid,
would have been.
right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Is I agree. Like we need to move on. If we do grab on Legacy, it's got to be something we haven't seen and something worth telling.
And you know what? Like, I know Disney, we're all saying, like, Disney's
The
trying
devil.
to make as much money from this IP as possible. But, like, I would say let's not rush anything. Let's
Yeah.
not overdo stuff. Like, take your time, pick the right projects, pick the right, stories that we want to tell. Get the right
Quality.
director, actors to play them.
That's right.
And then fucking put it out.
Quality
we don't,
over
I don't
quantity,
want oversaturate. I'd rather have quality over quantity.
That's right,
Well,
baby.
Right?
That's it.
And
That's
it
it.
seems
Give me
like,
give me a sniper rifle approach
It's like-
instead of the shotgun that we've been getting.
It's
forever.
Pray
kinda
and
like
pray, yeah.
when we talked about Kojima takes a long time making shit,
Oh,
but
like
it's
10, 20
always
years sometimes, 10 years.
always worth the wait. Like it's always worth the wait. If you told me you're gonna have Star Wars every 4 years instead of every year, I'd be into it. Why
Well,
not?
then isn't that like that's how it was
Yeah,
with the movies?
Yeah.
The movies was every 4 years.
yeah. I think
Wasn't it the original?
the most ambitious one was episode like 7, 8, 9 because that was Disney, right? Like they did a Star
Oh
Wars.
yeah, but not that. But I'm talking original trilogy.
yeah, original
that
was
like
like-
there
there
was
was-
4 years apart when they
Yeah.
came out. Even the prequel trilogy.
Well, I mean,
they were
that's
still
just
like
the
3-4 years apart.
Yeah.
between
that's
each
the
other, right?
balance of how long it takes to make a film versus how fast you make a television show, right? So
Yeah.
Star Wars television was a risk because everybody knows Star Wars takes time, right?
Well,
Now are we hitting the easy bake oven on Star Wars and being like, let's push it out, let's push out everything, which is that's part of like the next the challenge of getting outside of the saga because you still have us, you still have our parents who introduced it to us. Like it is ingrained, sadly, in a lot of toxic fandom, right? With changes.
Yeah, that's
And like there can be no people of color in space.
But
You're
that's just the
fucking
world, like-
ridiculous for thinking that.
That's the world because
It
Marvel
is.
too.
Yeah.
Marvel
Oh,
does gender
definitely, yeah.
swap characters, and people are
I'm just saying these
people are fucking freaking out about Silver Surfer. I'm like, it's fucking T2.
Yeah,
It's Liquid Terminator.
It's not real.
Yeah.
it's a
Guys, it's
made
not
up
real.
universe.
It's not
If
real.
anything,
Yeah.
I thought I was weird because I'm like, she looks kind of hot. And then these guys are like, "Ugh, it's supposed to be a dude. It's like, who? Okay,
Well, and
go watch all the other shit they've done where it is a guy.
that
That shit exists. Go watch that, you fucking losers.
you got to have
And
a
they
real
weren't good.
yeah.
you got to
Or
have a real
shocker.
conversation about that as someone who owns the rights. Then, as you know, Disney was like, "Hey, we don't have to DEI it anymore." Like, completely abandoned the whole process. Like,
yeah.
you know, so there's a lot of challenges with Disney's IPs in leaving this behind. But I think we all agree that as long as you tell proper, good stories,
Right.
people don't give a
Yeah.
shit, right?
No. Also, it's supposed
Like
to
look
be.
at sorry, I just wanted to like look
Go.
at
Yeah.
like I guess it's canon versus like canon isn't sacred, but I mean as long as you kind of don't fuck it up too much. Like I'm giving an example. Look at The Last of Us. In the original games, it was originally spores and not mice or what is it, cordyceps mushrooms.
Yes. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what the virus was.
Yeah.
But the show was done so well, no one gave a shit.
You know
When
what's
he did
funny
it.
though, Martin? Apparently, spores are coming in to season 2. I heard. I know.
What about molds and,
And
you
I'm
had
like, the
spores,
way-
molds, and
That's
funguses?
the evolution, right?
The-
but
right.
but my point is
Right.
like no one gave a shit when they said it was
Right.
cordyceps instead of
Right.
spores.
Also, the
'Cause it
way
was
that
so well
they,
done.
the way that, exactly the way that they did it. Like again, I forgot. So in the game, you know how the fungus thingies come out like almost tentacles.
Like out of that pipe in the last
yeah,
episode.
or sorry, in the show they like come out like tentacles. That's all show. Like
Sure,
that's
in the
not
game,
all
too.
In the game.
Yeah.
I'll agree with whatever you
What
tell me.
spores? Because that's why you have to wear gas
That's
masks
right,
in the
that's
show
right.
when you're traveling through spores.
Isn't that a line from
parts of
Ghostbusters?
the game.
Spores, molds, and fungus.
yeah, yeah.
It's fungi.
Sorry,
Fucking guy. That's right.
sorry for all the
funguses.
science listeners out there. Yeah, no, I mean, I just you see it, you hear about it, and we all love this. Like,
What do
this
you want,
is-
Mike? What do you want out of it?
Where
do you want us to go?
I mean, okay. Here's an example. Like knowing what I know about Sean Levy and knowing what I know about Ryan Gosling, watching those two make a Star Wars
And it's called
movie.
Starship, right?
It's called Starfighter. Hang on, let's bring up.
Make it Starfighter.
Starfighter.
It's Starfighter, right?
So I'm assuming he's going to be a pilot.
he's going to be
Wait a minute. Is it the last Starfighter?
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's where my
Are we
brain
gonna
went.
get
Well,
Death
they-
Blossom mode?
Yeah.
They made an effort to say it's 5 years after Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, so
it's
So it's a new story.
It's a
it's
new
a
story.
new story in a new era we haven't seen yet.
exactly.
Because it's the fall of a second empire.
But then we also know that Daisy Ridley's movie's coming,
correct.
and it is the
that
only
is
one.
that one's 16 years, I'm told, after Rise of Skywalker.
So that's the only one that's pulling from the Skywalker saga, depending on
and
what you
again,
want to believe.
And when they announced it, they didn't say it was going to be Star Wars Episode 10.
no,
They
it's
just
just
said it
announced-
was another Star Wars
it's a
movie.
Jedi-based story.
Because they also said, and I believe it's supposed to still be happening, James Mangold is supposed to be
Yes.
doing
Yep.
the first Jedi.
the Jedi Knight.
Yeah, like the first Jedi
Yeah,
Knights ever.
yeah.
So Old Republic.
Old Republic.
Right, which is huge.
Which is something we've only seen maybe in
The video games.
the video games.
Video games and like references. References.
Books,
actually-
video games, books and video games.
yeah,
Okay,
and
yeah.
like they do.
Comics, I think comics
They
too
do
as
have-
well. The Disney
so-
just released some comics for.
I did want to say the one thing I loved about Disney getting Star Wars was immediately Star Wars went to Marvel, publisher, and we're like, hey, could you guys make comic book series out
Make
of
pretty
these?
pages out of
And
this
they
stuff.
made a Darth Maul series. They made a Darth Vader series. They made a Luke, Leia, and Han series after Return of the Jedi. Like they're fucking awesome.
Sure,
I've
I've
read a
seen
lot of
the
them.
art. The art's
The
gorgeous.
Darth Vader one is so.
I think Mark
dope.
is hawking a couple of those right now. String Bean Comics for anybody in
The
Winnipeg.
Darth Vader one starts right after his scream of like finding out Padme's
Ah.
dead. And you know what
Charles,
it
can you
is?
send me after the show?
Oh, I will send you.
links
I've
to
read
that?
them all on that website, man. But yeah, I will send you that. His first comic is that, and Palpatine basically going, "Hey, so you lost your fucking lightsaber when Obi-Wan almost killed you, so you got to go find a lightsaber. Go." And Vader is like, "Okie doke." He finds
Okie dokie.
finds out that a rogue a Jedi who survived Order 66 is hiding out on some fucking like disheveled planet, goes there, and they have a force fight where Vader has just his hands. And then,
I'm sorry. I'm more scared of
It's
Vader by
so
the Force
good.
use than I am with his lightsaber.
dude, in the
skills.
way, like, it's so cool. Like, again, this is Vader at his angriest. It's as scary, and you're seeing right after Revenge of the Sith. That's what I'm saying, is if they dip in Legacy and if they just adapt those comic books, dope.
Well, and I mean the abilities now, because we know that the video games canon is potentially
Yeah,
coming.
Cal
right?
Kestis. Yeah, they're very. I
Yep.
think Cal Kestis is going to be in Rey's movie.
It
I'm almost like willing
it
to like.
feels like home to put him there, right? Because
Well,
if
the way the
she's
ga-
traveling the universe,
Well, and his
and-
thing right now is he wants to continue the Jedi, but doesn't want to do it the way that he doesn't. The Jedi texts are gone. One,
yeah.
they're gone technically, and Last
So are
Jedi,
the Jedi.
And the way Cal Kestis is becoming a Jedi, like a big. I mean, the game's been out a while. It's not a huge spoiler, but he has a love interest that he is engaged with, which is super anti-Jedi way, but not
Yeah.
with him. But it's making him a stronger Jedi. Love is a stronger emotion than abstinence, I guess. So
I don't know. Ask the Catholic
Like,
Church.
yeah, it doesn't work great for them, does it? But yeah, no,
I mean, I
like,
read shit. Doesn't do well from what I can tell.
but the game is cool, and the game is doing shit we haven't seen in the movies or anything.
Well, okay, so I think we're all on the same page here, where like we want to know that you remember where this came from,
Yeah.
but start digging deeper into the things you've said. Talk more.
It's bigger than
like,
Skywalkers.
It is. It's
Yeah.
bigger than a brother
Yeah.
and a sister
and we've
ancestral
seen
relationship.
We've got 9 movies of that family. You literally killed them all off.
Like
in,
even The Godfather stopped
yeah,
at 3.
right? And again, because like, and the ending of The Godfather is he's dead.
Yeah, we killed.
Right?
Yeah,
Like the Skywalker story is great. It's been told. It's time to move on.
and I mean you can still reference like because you have it's I can't remember the mathematical term, but you have black or white. You have ones and twos, right? You
Yeah.
have the Force and the dark side.
The yin and the yang.
So you can always, as long as you always come from that point, if you start there with that story,
Right.
you can have bounty hunters, bad guys, good guys, because it's both sides of the yin and the yang. It's what makes Star Wars so interesting.
Well, and again, I think as long as we'll have people trying to do good and be Jedis and blah blah blah, you'll have Empire sympathizers. Let's say
You will. Look at today.
well, and like Martin and I, like we can agree. Like, what was so neat about the Acolyte is the Dark Lord.
You're the only two that watched it.
Oh yeah.
The Sith Lord he's like, I just want to train someone.
Let me be.
The way. That's it. I just want to use
That's
the
what-
Force
that's what
without
we
being
thought it was gonna
policed.
be.
Right? It should have been. But
That's
like
what we thought it was gonna be.
hearing it from his perspective, saying it that way was kind of like, that's badass. Because it's not him saying like, I want to murder people. It's just him being like, I fuck with the Force and I don't want you to police how I do it. Sure, he's doing crazy, like dark shit with it, but seeing it from his perspective that way, it's more interesting than just
Well, it's
murder.
It's kind of like seeing
like
Harry Potter from Lucius Malfoy's point.
Yeah, like in that sense of like, or like Palpatine, all these other villains, they weren't very two-dimensional. They were very much like, I just want power, and that's what I want.
I'm hungry for murder.
Right, but with Anakin becoming Vader and all this, you have this conflict. The Acolyte had a conflict like that, but the conflict was like, for all I know, he was murdered, like his parents were murdered, blah, blah, blah. We don't really know, but it was more like, I just want to have someone to train. The Jedis get academies. I just want to use the Force and have somebody.
Can I have a little shitty shack and,
all I want.
and a
That's all it is.
Padawan? That's
Yeah,
all I want,
that's
guys.
all it is. I made my own lightsaber. Just fuck off. Leave me alone. That's all it is, right?
Well, he got to
Like-
be so mean.
But there's an interesting element to that, and it's like, yeah, so like, what kind of conflict can that build up to? Like, what if they did? What if they were like, fine, we'll leave you the fuck alone, go do your own thing.
Yeah.
And then he starts.
That's
the next
how you.
empire.
That's how you meet in the middle and get along.
Right? Like, so that's what's interesting, and that's this whole idea of. I also don't agree with the way the Jedi train. That's why they're all fucked up.
Like,
And they turn evil.
both of those ideas, at their core, show honor, respect, an idea of a code, the old martial arts way, samurai, right?
Like George Lucas was so influenced by like the Jedi or samurai.
The Seven
essentially.
Samurai
Right.
is Star Wars.
It's 100% Star Wars. Yeah.
I didn't realize it until I watched it, all 3.5 hours of it. Holy
Oh
shit.
yeah, it's pretty much that. That
I
was
was,
it.
Jesus Christ. I'm
And
like,
that
there's
movie's
Chewie,
and that
there's
movie's
Leia,
amazing.
there's Luke.
And it makes sense that Lucas grew up with that movie. So when you're
Yeah.
influenced by something, you're like,
Oh, ridiculous.
I want to make it.
Okay, so Martin, we'll start with you in this last point. And we've kind of touched on it, but we'll do a little bit of a deep dive. How the new shows, you're talking about how Acolyte tried and just didn't. The base wasn't there. Right?
Yeah.
Like it just.
They
and-
should have actually made it completely from the perspective of the dark side. If they
That's
actually
what
did that,
that's what we wanted. That's what
right.
I wanted.
If for some reason they were like, no, it's going to be from the perspective
Joy.
of these twins that are so boring. It should have just
Connection.
been from
sibling rivalry.
It should have just been completely from the perspective of the actual Dark Lord, the guy
Yeah.
that wanted the Acolyte. If it focused on him, that show, literally, they would have been like, we can't keep up with fans' demand. I'm telling you. Because all the scenes with him are fucking
Oh, he's the best part, and
unreal,
obviously
man.
one of the first Filipinos in Star Wars.
Which is so, dude, at one
Who
point.
is he?
Well, lead.
He was-
Magic
his-
Quinto from The Good Place.
I saw him from The Good Place. That was the first thing I ever saw him from.
He's the guy from The Good Place.
Yeah.
Really?
Dude, when you see him in
Yeah.
this too, oh my god! And the way they introduce him is he's like a dumb sidekick.
Yeah,
He's like a
that's
jump-
what he was in The Good Place.
That's right.
That's what his character was in The Good Place, and that's the same thing has to
they
introduce, but
introduce him
tricked
in
Now
the
he's a dumb
show.
sidekick with fucking force powers.
So the way they introduce him in the show is one of the twins. That's his contact, and he's a fucking drunken idiot. Like he's like, haha, like an idiot. Turns out
that's awesome.
he's her boss the whole time. Like that. Oh shit. Like again, when it was on him, it was cool. It was really good.
I have not. That's the only one I haven't watched. I've
It's like-
watched everything Star Wars.
Mike,
I
they
can
do
sing,
like crouching.
except the animated stuff. But I let Martin film.
They
it.
do like a crouching tiger, hidden dragon fight scenes at some point because they're force fighting, but like they're both equally strong. So it's almost like, you know what I mean? They
Yeah.
get stuck in the air.
Well, I've seen it. It
and
looked
they
like The
float.
Matrix.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
you should at least just watch it for how.
I'll watch.
how,
Hey,
Yeah.
if five to
No,
the
but I'll
end.
say
Start
this,
from
you gotta
5.
watch it for the
Just-
scene of how they turn a lightsaber red.
So they do show the
They show
corrupting
it
the
in
crystal.
the first time how a
It's-
lightsaber turns red.
And the first time I saw it was in the Darth Vader
Awesome.
comic. They show him get it. So, but it was in a comic book. Seeing it live action, it's just chills.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool. They show you exactly how
I
the crystal gets corrupted and makes it a red lightsaber.
Just watch it from episode 5 onwards.
Yeah,
okay,
literally.
so, but the ones that have hit, the ones that have been like mind-blowing successes,
Grogu, Andor,
Ahsoka, Andor, and Mandalorian.
Yeah, I really loved Ahsoka. That was a great one. Yeah.
Do we? How do we rank this, guys? Let's do that. How do we rank this? Which one has done?
I think Andor's number 1
I agree.
because Andor to
it's
me,
got to be the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian
oh.
brought it back.
the
The
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian
So I give
Yes.
was
you
the
that.
Iron
Yes.
Man of Star Wars.
I give
Yes.
you that for sure.
100%,
Without
I
the
concede.
success of
Yeah.
Mandalorian, we wouldn't have the other shows. I fully agree with you on that. I find though the most pristine inside out consistently is Andor.
Tony Gilroy.
I've had
Tony
moments.
Gilroy.
Good. It's tough. It's tough. I rank both of them 1 and 2 easily.
Yeah, but again, I do agree with you. Like without Mandalorian, we would not have TV Star Wars. Like Obi-Wan, I really didn't think I would like as much. But again,
I thought
just
it was
how I
okay.
didn't mention
It
it?
wasn't my favorite, but it was okay.
I focus on just the elements of him and Darth Vader, and it
was too much of this
was
Padawan trainer relationship trying to be resurrected.
Well, and they should have just made it 3 episodes and made it just the rematch of Vader and Obi-Wan.
Yes.
Because
Kathleen
little
Kennedy, too much.
Leia kind of drove me nuts because I don't know. It drove me a little the way that they grabbed from Legacy like that. Like, what if Obi-Wan helped out Leia when she was like 8? I'm like, what if he didn't?
I mean, another
What if he just-
princess. Really?
What if he
like,
just stayed surviving in the desert trying to fight off Maul and Vader again?
Like,
that's way more interesting.
Is Obi-Wan only good at rescuing damsels in distress?
Yeah,
like that's what it really fucking pigeonholed the shit out of
Well,
that
and it's
character.
again, don't do stuff that makes me rewatch the movies and then be like, huh. Like, do Rogue One. Rogue One filled in a
Yes.
huge gap
Yes.
that for decades fans were like, but why would they have this weakness? It's so dumb. And then Rogue One was like, well, we'll tell you why.
Okay, Martin, if you put Mandalorian first, is Andor second then?
Andor's easily. It's honestly they're both like up there. It's hard to put 1 and 2. Like they're 1 and 2, but they're very close 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So then Ahsoka.
I just love Andor. Like Andor had the best monologues I've heard.
And
in Star
Diego
Wars.
Luna-
Andor
Luna's
was
great.
made for adults.
Yeah.
Andor's like the House of Cards, the long form drama of Star
Well,
Wars, right? Where you're like, let's let these characters really like these actors chew into these
Well,
characters.
it's a political drama.
It is.
That's what
It
it
And
is.
right? It's
Disney's
more of a political
smart.
drama.
They doubled down on their most successful movie since they took over.
Rogue One.
Rogue One was their best movie they've put out yet.
My favorite level in Battlefront
Yeah.
is the Rogue One beach.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
the
yeah,
Scarif.
yeah.
The Scarif.
Scarif
the
is
beach.
so good.
And that whole, like, again, the idea of that's what Star Wars needs to go back, especially when you make a movie. Every Star Wars movie, the last 40 minutes is just like boom, 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 boom.
Like, do you mean to tell me
action
that-
scene, I'm your father, big story plot, and then end on a mic drop? Do that. That's what all your movies should do. You know?
I'm always like, I look at a thing, I'm like, so there was only 2 attacks on the Death Star?
Yeah, right.
Like, you mean to
right.
tell me that they never bothered any other time and failed, right?
Yeah.
Or almost,
yeah.
or like something, or they learned something. Like,
Yeah.
those stories, all of that stuff.
A lot of that stuff was in the game. Like before,
That's
Sure,
what
yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
we had the legends of Kyle Katarn, who was he was the one who originally got the Death Star plans from the Empire to
That's
the
right.
Rebellion in the video game Dark Forces. I
Okay.
think
Yeah.
that's what it was
Okay.
called.
Yeah.
Yeah. The games have been more ambitious than their
Well, you got
shows.
way
Those were
more-
good games, They were
Dude,
great
even
games.
even the ones with
The studio head of a design company wants the game to be amazing, so everyone's not playing.
well, it's also you can make more money paying $100 for something than $20 for a movie.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
And then you don't have downloadable content for a movie.
Force Unleashed. That's what it was.
Force
Sam
Unleashed was great.
Winter. Both those games. So Mike, Force Unleashed
Whitmer or Winter?
is I think it's Winter.
Are you talking about the guy who plays
The guy who does the voice of Darth Maul.
Whitmer?
Whitmer. Okay,
Yeah.
my bad.
I just
So
saw it this
Sam-
morning. I always thought it was Winter too.
So dyslexia says Winter for me. Sam Wintmer did his first dip in Star Wars was these video games called
Yeah.
Force Unleashed.
For PS2, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. It was that Vader had a secret apprentice,
Yes.
and it was this fucking dude. And then this
And you know
dude.
what? The best thing, the nod. His name is Star Killer,
Yeah, that's right.
which is
That's
the
Star
original
Killer
name of
Base!
Luke.
That's right. And that was what they were supposed to be called originally.
That was the
Star
original
Killer.
name of Luke.
Yeah,
Luke's
it was
Star
Star
Killer
Killer.
was supposed to be, but they changed it to Skywalker. so
That's
it's
why
more-
JJ in Force Awakens called it Star
Yeah.
Killer Base was because
Oh, the more you know.
Yeah. But yeah, the game, those games were so good, and that alone, that could be a special
Dude,
presentation of Star Wars.
The
Like, they
Force
could be-
Unleashed was so good because like
amazing.
it gave you what a Jedi could do. Like in that game,
Yeah.
you can
Oh, the
bring down
Force
a Star
lightning and
Destroyer with the
everything.
Force.
Yeah,
Like
oh,
you
yeah.
bring down
so
a Star Destroyer.
Yeah,
with
so
the
that's
Force
a big.
alone.
That's a big.
I played it.
You
Like
go, oh, yeah,
I
remember button mashing
Yeah,
and you're trying to
yeah,
bring
yeah,
it
yeah.
down? Oh.
And like you're fighting, aren't you fighting Dooku at one point
Yeah.
in it? Like
Yeah.
yeah, that was one of the most ambitious games. Never mind Star Wars.
It
games.
was, you know what?
Oh yeah, I'm having flashbacks.
It was, and it makes sense. Like they kept him in the Star Wars universe doing Maul, which is amazing. His
Yeah.
Maul. His
Well,
Maul is
between
incredible.
Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sam Witwer, the amount of knowledge
Yeah.
that they probably kick up to Filoni, like between
Yeah.
the three of them,
Yeah.
those three guys should be making Star Wars all the time.
Just
with
watch
Favreau.
Rebels and look up Twilight Apprentice.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I mean,
Fucking
and
awesome.
I am really upset that during that dark time of no Star Wars, I wasn't like, attached to the animation. Like Rebels, like everybody around me.
You know what it is? I was the same way. It's because they really marketed it for kids. Because even when I would look at the trailers,
But everybody I know who's an adult watches it and says
Well,
it's
it's
great.
'cause-
I'm like,
'cause
fuck, that's a lot of shit to catch up on.
I didn't
man.
realize it was Filoni writing
It's
it. I
Filoni.
think.
That
Yeah,
was
that's
his,
what I
that was
mean.
his first dip into it.
Right.
was
Once you
Filoni.
find
He
out
was-
it's him doing it, I was like, oh, shit. Like even the last Clone, like remember when Disney bought over Disney, they did a final season of the Clone Wars. That was all Filoni too. And again,
Yeah, it's all
Darth
Filoni. Well,
Maul
Filoni
and
was-
Ahsoka. Oof.
when he did it, he consulted Lucas, like George Lucas, on
Yeah.
everything he did.
Yeah.
And he went to George Lucas like, hey, would Anakin have a Padawan? And
Yeah.
he was like, that's
Like-
he created Ahsoka because that was
That's right. And
from that whole
hearing
cartoon.
Lucas talk about it is wild. It's like, yeah, that's all him. And I just was blown away. And I was like, yeah, this is canon. This is so good. This is canon now.
Yeah.
So,
I think we've warmed up here. That was a really great first segment. Well done. The Force is strong with us. So we're moving into the future is Force sensitive. This is the second part of our show, which is the next generation of heroes, villains, and filmmakers, people who are going to be taking over the helm. We've already mentioned Sean Levy. I think the big one that we want to focus on here for a second
is Taika still doing? I think Taika's supposed to still be.
Taika's still doing one. He's still doing one.
But we were talking about how you guys with the Acolyte wanted a dark side story.
Yeah.
Now you're getting Maul Shadow Lord Star Wars, which is going to
Yeah.
be the former Sith returns.
Yeah.
So Maul's getting his own show.
Right. Which, again, they did this in the comics, and it is fucking awesome.
So it's gonna take place before, like, I think it. When does it go? It takes place, or it could take place. I guess the furthest timeline would be before episode, like, was it episode 6?
Yeah. So
A
I
New
was
Hope.
thinking
It's
of.
before a new, it has to end before A New Hope.
Yeah,
is where this
so-
would be.
Yeah, if they're doing it, if it's canon and everything, then it's when, like, we know how his story ends with Obi-Wan in the desert.
That
And
was a
that's-
fucking awesome scene. Like, if you just look up that clip, just
Oh,
look up
dude.
that
Oh,
clip.
the Duel of the
alone.
Fates?
Unbelievable. You know what they still get Sam Witwer to do every time he's at like his fans bug him is to scream Kenobi, because that way that he screams when he finds out that Kenobi just the way he does it, it's just, and that whole episode is them having a fucking it reminds me of Punisher and Daredevil. It's just a
Yeah.
dialogue.
Oh, sorry. This is in the animated.
This is in the Clone Wars.
Sorry, I thought
Yeah,
we were.
Clone
I'm like,
Wars.
I don't
Rebels.
remember.
Rebels.
Rebels.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
Rebels. Sorry, but yeah, we're trying to find the timeline for this. So it's got to be. You're right. It's before A New Hope. It is definitely after. I'm assuming it's after his showdown with Ahsoka. So
It's gonna be.
that,
It could be. It's anywhere after, probably after the Clone Wars. I'm gonna assume it's
sets-
like
so
just
it is-
after the Clone Wars sometime.
Whitwer.
Because he becomes like
You were both
he-
wrong. It's
he-
Whitwer, not
Whitwer.
Whitwer.
In the Ron Howard one, he becomes like Lord of the Underworld. Like of,
Yeah, so
I can't remember
his-
what the group is, the gang group, but he
Yeah.
becomes like a Underworld Lord.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh shit, that's
Guys, right here it says in the article from StarWars.com, it says Whitwer first portrayed Maul in Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Later reprising the role in Star Wars Rebels in a new series set after the events of the final season of the Clone Wars.
Oh, so it is. It's right
Maul
after.
rises
Yeah.
again to lead the underworld factions and rebuild.
Sick.
So it's when
criminal
the
syndicate.
Empire's established.
Yeah, yeah. So it
He goes-
would
yeah, okay.
technically tie in
To A New
as
Hope.
much as I hated that Han Solo movie.
To a Phantom
I
Menace.
just like
was-
his cameo in it.
That was the best
part.
part because no one saw that.
Sure,
coming.
yeah.
I had no idea, and just he was a fucking hologram, and I was like, ah! It was so anything more Maul I am into. The only thing that kills me, I do wish it was going to be live action, just a little bit, but
You know,
the animation's going to be great because they already showed.
we all know that if you can't do it in live action, it's either the money or the casting.
Well, and they showed they released a still, like a storyboard, and it looks sick. It looks really cool. Like the animation style is drawn. It looks
Oh,
drawn.
really?
Like it looks drawn.
So
I
like a
mean,
little spider
Cell shaded.
yeah. Like I think it's there.
into the Spider-Verse kind of
They
thing.
have- yeah, kind of a little bit. Like it's dark. It's very dark. Like Maul is the brightest thing because he has the red face.
It'd be like
but
Dark
everything
Horse
else
comic
is
kind of
shaded.
animation.
Yeah. Totally.
Do
Totally.
are we still holding out hope for Orlando series?
With.
It's on, it's off, it's
That's
on,
the
it's off.
legacy I don't want them to touch. I'm sorry, I was
Okay.
not a fan of the Han Solo movie. I thought it was so bad.
Okay, but
I didn't
let's
like
all put it on the fact that he was really not good as an actor. Like that is a casting choice that falls apart. The rest of the movie's pretty fun.
I didn't mind. Like his Han Solo was okay,
but also Ron Howard made it feel like Forrest. Like he made it feel
it was for kids, and like
like
Lando,
he made it. Yeah,
his Lando was great. Like his
Lando's fun.
His Lando's
Childish
great.
Playing some Lando Calrissian.
You do want it. Okay.
I don't mind
Billy
it.
D is okay with that too.
Yeah, like I would love to see more of that. Yes, he was great. He was definitely the highlight of the movie. It's just for me, that movie rubbed me wrong so bad that I don't even want to revisit it. It should have been a Darth Maul movie.
They fucked it up because like they changed directors midway.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
How did Ron
Changed
Howard
teams
bury
midway.
it so hard? Like,
and you know what? What it was, and Martin, we already said, but I did not expect Maul to even make a cameo. The fact that they just teased that, I was like, that should have been the fucking movie. Was him sending Emilia Clarke in, because that was the whole thing, right? That was the big twist. Is at the end
who's
they kill
who's she reporting to? Yeah,
Vision dies, and then she's like, blah, 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 on her little scanner. It's fucking Maul, and I was like, why wasn't that the movie?
You know,
fuck Han Solo.
I'm pretty sure they brought Ron Howard back for a lot of post production because it feels like a Ron Howard movie, but it doesn't.
He did the Kessel Run part for sure, because that's like very like, you know, I get it. He's like the Star Wars I grew up with, and like I get it, man, but like we saw it too. We need to progress the story. This isn't doing it.
And I mean, you had a one and done shot with a Han Solo movie. It's not like they're going to be like, well, let's try this again.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, there was supposed to be a trilogy of them. Yeah. That's why they planted the Darth Maul thing. That was supposed to Emilia Clarke's character. She was supposed to be the next big baddie. Oh man, it was
Han going to get an Empire Strikes Back?
Oh, like yeah, it was supposed to. So the next one, the next one was supposed to be about Lando and him, and how remember the poker games selling them.
Yeah.
We were going to see that. And then
oh wow, I'm so glad.
Oh, I know.
Holy shit!
Every day I'm like, fuck. I'm so happy that movie did terrible.
And then I recently saw him in Cocaine Bear.
Yeah,
he's the son of right.
But you know what? So they made a comic of
I've seen
Han
it,
and Chewie, how they met, and it's way worse.
Who's the bottom and who's the top?
Han was working with Han.
Sorry.
To survive, Han was working at basically an Empire Run camp where they were rounding up. They would go to a planet.
Oh, they were rounding up Wookiees.
And he was tasked with killing Chewbacca and his family. And he couldn't do it. And Chewie, like, they basically bonded over the fact that he was about to kill him, couldn't, and then he helped them escape. And then it was like, I'm with you now. And I can't remember.
That is such a good love story.
And I can't remember how they explain the language. Because they eventually, like, he does know how to
Don't
speak
explain
Wookiee
the language. I like knowing that every time he goes,
but isn't
Han's
that way,
like, chill out, Chewie.
But isn't that way better? Like, the way they did it was, like, comical. Like, that was Ron Howard. It reminded me of Arrested Development.
Yeah, like when...
It was very Arrested Development.
So, like, Chewie makes a noise, and then Han's like, really? It's that big? You know, like, that kind of, like, shtick.
And it's like, I speak a bit of your language, and then they start growling at each other, and then they're like, did we just become best friends? And it was like, what?
Step brothers.
No. And it was more emotional thinking he was going to kill Chewbacca and his family. And then he's like, I can't do this.
I think, okay, so back to Taika. I don't think Taika, like, they just announced that the Star Wars, hang on, I'll bring it up. Because it's kind of.
Well, he said he wanted to do a comedy, and I could see them not there
I mean,
yet.
just make it like Thor Ragnarok.
That's what I mean. That's what I would think.
Okay,
right?
so yeah, Ragnarok, not Love and Thunder. So they did mention Star Wars confirmed 6 long-awaited movies in development in the last 24 hours.
Okay, is Taika's on there?
It's not.
Yeah, I read it on there. He's still considered as a list of potential Star Wars movies coming out.
Okay, hang on here. Screen Rant is attendance at the Star Wars Celebration Japan, where during the promotion series, The Mandalorian and Grogu, so there's one.
Yeah.
Shared by Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni. The upcoming Rey-centric movie directed by Charmin Obaid Chinoy. Sorry if I screwed that up. It is. Okay.
Yeah.
The installments directed by Taika Waititi and James Mangold. So more than one, obviously. And then the trilogy written by Simon Kinberg. Those are the 6.
So I think the trilogy by Simon Kinberg is supposed to like continue. Like I think they mean like 10, 11, 12? Because I thought they were going to
12, 13, 14.
I thought they were going to do an Old Republic. I really
Or
maybe
10,
they,
sorry,
maybe
10,
the
11, 12.
maybe the Acolyte was supposed to, but no, I thought they were going to do an old. Oh, that's James Mangold. I guess his is the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Because it's the first Force. Yeah.
It's a brand new trilogy, is what it's on gaming.
So I'm wondering if
Bible.
that's supposed to be a like 10, 11, 12. Because they did say they wanted to continue.
Are we all like? I mean, and I say this because most of Rey's story is focused on finding her family and finding herself, right? Like,
'Cause
they didn't really put like. I want like you know how we didn't get a good Luke in.
Oh yes, and 7, 8, 9.
Right, we got angry old
Jake. What
crotchety.
did he call
yeah.
him? He called him Jake Skywalker. 'Cause
Yeah,
he
like
was
he's just
he's not my Luke.
He's not my. So like,
Yeah.
I want Rey to start being a Jedi. Is
So-
what I hope happens. Like if we go 16 years later
I think they
and a new Jedi
said-
story, I want Jedi action.
I think they
want,
said she's like it's 16 years later because
She's building up the new temple.
she started the new Jedi Order and we're
Okay.
seeing a new Jedi
so
Order
she'll
run
be
by her.
she'll be like Karate Kid 3.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
like
yeah,
focused
yeah.
and trained.
She's now the Miyagi, basically.
she's,
that's-
bringing
she's,
in-
yeah,
That's
Yoda.
what I
She's the
want.
head. She's the head
She's
of the
the
order.
head,
Okay.
and that's
New
why
order.
I think Cal Kestis will make his live action debut in that because what they're doing with his storyline is he wants to train a new order of Jedi. So it makes sense that him and Rey would fucking meet up and just why not make the academy together? You know what I mean? Like, and what's neat about this is a completely new Jedi Order. Like the Jedi texts are destroyed. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
and it's old versus new in the regard that she can rewrite
And
what she
are they
believes
gonna
the
repeat
text.
the same
right,
mistakes
Yeah.
exactly. Like
that the
get rid of
previous
the
generation did, or what's
yeah,
gonna
like
happen?
get rid of the residential school approach. I would say that's
Yeah,
probably
it's
a good start.
That's a good idea.
Let them love. I'd say is a good start. Let
Yeah.
them have families.
Let's not castrate their future.
Yeah, right. Like let them and don't have this weird age thing. Like nope, we can only take them when they're 3. Like you know what I mean? Like
Very,
no,
very,
like,
very dirty Hollywood centric.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
So I like
Need
what
more
I'm
kid
saying
actors.
is-
They can only be 3 or younger.
Well, 3-year-olds are easier to indoctrinate.
That's
than
very
older
true.
versions.
They're
You have
sponges.
That's why the Jedi did it.
Rey has the potential to start a whole new order in the best version it can be.
Yeah,
And I want to see that. Like, I want to see a
But
version of
let's
Jedi
not-
that we're like, whoa.
but I want fuck around and find out Jedi.
yeah, like, yeah. Like,
I
what
want
I'm
the
saying
Luke we
is
got in Mandalorian.
kind of going back to the Acolyte. Like, let them do their thing, but also not turn into the Joker.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, right. But let them do their thing. Like, and like, even in the Acolyte, what was neat was like one of their lightsabers was a fucking whip. Like, is that regulation? I don't know, but they know how to do it. Let them use it.
Your
You know what
lightsaber
I
is
mean?
14 feet too long.
Yeah,
Sorry, you're not allowed
right,
to fight.
Like, so it would be cool to see like they all don't have to wear weird cloaks if they don't want
Just
to.
to comment
know?
on the whip, the reason why that wouldn't be Jedi canon is because the Jedi will only use the Force for knowledge and defense. A whip is not for defense. That is a tool for
Sexy
attacking.
time.
Right. Yeah,
Or
that's
sexy
true.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why.
I see what you're saying. But I mean, like, what's neat is, like, not all of them had that one. So the one that has that one probably knows what the fuck they're doing with it. So let them do
That's
it.
true. That's
You
true.
know?
I mean, and like we say, some Force users are less than others.
Yeah.
Maybe their Force hasn't been refined, right?
Right.
They're like the third world country of Star Wars, for example, right? Where they're like, I had the tools and I had this and I made it. I'm
And
sorry,
with
it's
the
not.
right Jedi teaching,
Yes.
you can meet your
Sure.
maximum potential.
Yeah.
But everyone's potential, like, kind of like in the universe, there's hopefully not a lot of repetitive powers. So if there's an Iceman, cool. Then 1 in every 15 is an Iceman. Let's say. You know what I mean?
You want there to
Like,
be differentiation between the
yeah.
chromosomes.
Yeah, right, like
You want
just-
force flight, force
just-
flutter,
Yeah,
force
why not? Why can't one of them
force
be
laser
like,
eyes.
why can't somebody be a Force user that's like, I'm basically Superman. I use my Force power to fucking fly. Right? Like,
But okay,
Neo,
that
we're
that
rewatching
that
the
is
Matrix.
that's
Neo is
dangerous.
a Force user.
That's dangerous.
I know.
I mean, it would be fun to see, but it's dangerous because
Maybe Tychus will be that. It's an Academy of Jedi that have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
you mean
Misfits. He could do like a Misfits.
like mystery men.
Yeah. They're all Force users, but they're fucking bizarre or like some
The
just
Jedi
have no
B
idea.
team?
I can
Jedi
use,
BT.
I can use the Force when nobody's looking. I can use the Force when no one's looking. so everyone has to turn
like
their back.
the
And then he does
Drax
something
of Force
cool.
users.
But in Mystery Men, that's my favorite. Is the invisible kid's like I can turn invisible when no one's looking
Yeah.
at me, and he does. And it's so funny if someone's like, I can really fuck shit up with the Force, but no one can be looking.
Or Dismulchin's Polka Dot Man.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know. I hope Taika gets to do something that's Taika, like very comedic, but in Star Wars.
It's never really been done. I mean, there's
That's
always
what
a
I'm
good
saying.
one-liner, but it's never really been like
Imagine if Taika did from the perspective of the people that have to clean up, like the cleanup crew, like the Jedi just founded the council, but we got to rebuild it, and then they're the crew that
Jedi janitors.
Yeah, Jedi janitors, like, and they kind of hate everyone. They're like, oh, I don't side with the Empire or the Rebellion.
horrible.
They're all assholes.
They're all. Do you know what it's like to clean up after a Jedi battle?
Like in Spider-Man Homecoming, they kind of Michael Keaton's character. They're the cleanup crew.
Yeah.
Of like Avengers Tower when they fucked up New York, they got to clean it up. So they kind of hate the Avengers. They could do that in Star Wars. Like they make there's a lot of battles. There's a lot of property damage. How does
a
insurance?
Rancor can fuck shit up.
How does insurance
Well, you know what?
work?
They did the cleanup crew in Andor. That was
Yeah,
how it
right.
started.
Kinda
Right,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
Of the
Okay,
ships.
so maybe when you build a Death Star, do you get insurance? Who are the insurance brokers?
Interplanetary.
I think, but that's what I think your one-offs are.
Yeah,
'Cause
like
one
that's
of
what
my
I mean.
favorite things. It was a fan-made film, but it was called, I can't remember what it's called, but it was basically stormtroopers but cops.
Oh yeah.
But
I
it was
know
a
you-
comedy.
Yeah.
It is a short, and
Yeah.
it was done a long time ago. Like,
Right.
This was, I'm talking like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you got to send us the link for that
And
because
like,
I want to see that.
why can't that exist? Like, why not? Like, that's a real thing that could.
Or like Undercover Boss.
Yeah.
SNL thing. That was
with Kylo
awesome.
Ren. Like, that was
Yeah.
so good. Even in, I think it's Mandalorian.
I knew it was Kylo Ren.
Yeah, he's like, I think I knew it was Kylo Ren when he stepped into the room and said, "Hi, I'm Kyle, the repair guy." But like, even in Mandalorian, I think you have a whole episode that opens up with stormtroopers having banter, and it's really random. Remember, they're on the speeders.
Well, that's Sudeikis, isn't it? Wasn't that Jason Sudeikis? It was one of the voices. of
Yeah,
that?
and it's really funny. He's really funny. Like, it's,
Dude,
it's
even,
along the
even
lines
the
of like,
dude who was at C4 had a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah,
And like,
yeah.
I mean, it's even funnier when you put the voice modulator on and
Yeah.
then it's like, shut up, civilian. Like everything can be fun. Stormtroopers has a lot. You know what? There it is. We've only seen Finn. We've only seen really Finn.
Yeah.
And I mean, even Clone Wars stuff. Okay, yeah, you're building them and everything, but like, let's make a live action comedy
Yeah, and
about stormtroopers trying to be stormtroopers.
or like
And
becoming
honestly,
storm
those are your shorts. Those are your shorts. Like just do
or
like
your one-offs.
10-minute
Yeah, okay.
shorts.
or
Sure,
getting
yeah.
taken to become stormtroopers, but being told like you're going to be a great warrior, and they're like, awesome.
Yes, that's what I'm
And
like.
then it just ends.
Like,
with
and
a
everyone
big-
knows that they can't
Yeah.
aim, and there's like a whole
Yeah.
sequence of like,
Yeah.
how they're lied into thinking they've got great aim and how they're going to be
Yeah.
the best of the rank, and like you.
My favorite joke of that though is in Spaceballs. He's just cross-eyed. Who hired him? He's my cousin, sir. They're all cross-eyed. Fuck.
I'm
That's
surrounded by assholes.
Yeah. No, but again, like I again push, and that's pushing it into the future in a way. Like, yeah, they might be grabbing legacy with making them stormtroopers, but if we get a comedy that we've never really seen or even thought of, and Taika's the guy to do that. Like he makes it so fun.
He is. This one's for Martin here, and he's like hard in the paint for both the animation series for Filoni. But you watch everything that's animated that comes out of Star Wars, so. How has animation done in terms of helping the story survive? I mean, it is credited for those dark years, like I said.
Yep.
But I mean, we're talking about Bad Batch, Tales of the Jedi, Martin. Like, where is that?
Well, that's what the animation does. It fills in the gaps. That's the big thing about animation. It fills in all the gaps that happens between the movies. That's the big thing, right? So Clone Wars obviously took place after Episode 2 and ends just before, or actually, yeah, it ends just before Episode 3. Like, it literally ends right before that big space battle in Episode 3, that opening scene in Episode 3. So that's where the Clone Wars ends. Rebels takes place between, I want to say, somewhere between, like, way after Episode 3 and right before A New Hope. So that's where Rebels takes place. And then you get these one-off animations like Tales of the Jedi, which
So
kind
good.
of give you more in-depth look of some of your favorite Jedi characters, like, how Count Dooku kind of gets swayed to the dark side. That's the story that they tell
That's
in
a
Tales
good,
of the Jedi.
yeah, that's a good one.
Or how Ahsoka gets taken to the Jedi Temple. That's one of the stories. Also, Tales of the Empire was okay. It was pretty good. I liked Tales of the Empire. It definitely was. I think that's what the Acolyte should have been, was how
Yeah.
they really show how the Sith or the Empire at that time got their Inquisitors, how they trained from basically Order 66 all the way up until
Sick.
like, you know, how they show in Obi-Wan all those Inquisitors. So the animation fills in a lot of the gaps. That's what I think the animation's job is, and I think they do that really well. Another cool thing was
The Bad Batch.
Called, but they did like the Bad Batch. I'll talk about that after.
Oh,
but they also did
Visions.
one where it's Japanese
Visions.
anime.
That's it. That's the
Visions.
one. Yeah, where
The
it was.
Japanese
Visions,
animations was amazing.
That
Like,
was
just
one of my
getting different anime
favorites.
companies and seeing how they would handle Star Wars. I thought that was the best thing.
And
ever.
again, Japanese storytellers, the fucking storylines in all of them are insane,
Oh,
man.
they're insane.
There's
They're
one where
crazy.
twins are fighting on a Star Destroyer.
And the voice actors too are
So
like
good.
big name voice actors.
Yeah.
man.
Like you can watch it in the
Playing voices.
Japanese audio, but the English dub has like big actors, big English actors doing the English dubs and stuff. One of my favorites, because again, going back to how we were saying like Jedi are basically samurai. Well, these Japanese storytellers are like, that's what they are.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna do this proper, bitches.
one of the stories is one Ronin going into a village that's run by like an Empire clan, and the Ronin, when he like opens his robe, has all the lightsabers from all the other Jedi that he's just slaughtered. And he's not bad. He's not good. He just sees exactly what a Ronin does. He just sees like an unbalance and then balances it and then fucks off.
Well, and also doesn't have a rudder, right? Like a
Yeah.
Ronin is a
Yeah.
it has no
He's a
clan.
masterless
Yeah.
samurai.
He's masterless samurai.
So that's what's cool is like the lightsaber is red, but it's like, is it red because he killed somebody that had a red lightsaber, or did he corrupt it? You don't know. But like that's part of the Ronin story. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And
It's
the
so
Bad
good.
Batch too. The one thing I like about the Bad Batch is it answers that story of like, you know, we started episode 2 with clones. That's what we get. But how did they become stormtroopers? And that's what the Bad Batch fills in, all that gap between how the Empire basically got rid of all the clone troopers.
And that's what
Right.
I'm saying for Taika is to
Right.
take the Bad Batch and make it fucking funny.
Well, and yeah, that could totally be something. Even also,
Or
too,
even give the
is-
Bad Batch like a feature rip.
And
yeah.
what I'm looking forward to in all the new Star Wars things coming out is, especially the live action ones, is maybe getting some of these characters that were all in animation, like Ahsoka, and bringing them to the big screen in live action. So there's so many characters in all these different Star Wars shows, animations, that they haven't even touched on these characters to bring them into.
I would see an Ahsoka movie
I
in a
think-
fucking
Like Rebels
minute.
is the first one. Rebels is the first one where they bring
Oh, yeah.
all the it's awesome seeing all the characters
'Cause
of
they
Rebels
find Ezra,
on
that's
on
right.
live screen. Ezra was the main the Jedi in training in Rebels.
Right, and Ahsoka
And Freddie Prinze Jr. was his trainer.
was his trainer, right? And Ahsoka, the live action show, confirmed finally that Ezra is okay, because where
Yeah,
Rebels
that's what
left
Yes,
off,
yeah,
we
they
didn't,
found-
we didn't know what
yeah,
happens. Well,
right.
What Rebels touches on was one of the best characters that, you know, in the books and in like was Thrawn. They
Yes.
focus on
Yes.
Grand Admiral
in that
Thrawn.
way,
That's right.
So, and still played by was it Mads Mikkelsen? It's still played like the voice and the live action.
is the same
version.
actor. Yeah,
same
yeah,
actor. Same actor.
I wouldn't be shocked just because of Ahsoka's a connection to Grogu if she makes a cameo in Mandalorian and Grogu.
Oh, easy.
for sure.
Easy. She
sure.
she picks up Grogu in the first season to be
And-
like, we need to train him. He
And
needs-
Rosario is so good as Ahsoka. Like and you want to know what's funny? Going back to Boss Logic.
how stupid I get when I look at Rosario Dawson because she's gorgeous.
Do you know how that came to fruition? Boss Logic. About 5-6 years ago, there was fans saying, "Hey, I think Rosario Dawson would be awesome as Ahsoka."
So he did a poster.
He did a mock-up of it. It got trending, and then Disney was like, "We got to bring her in for an audition." And she, the first interview she had, she shouted out to him and was like, "He's the one that got this happening." Yeah.
Don't you love the Real Debaters for
Yeah.
the deep trivia we offer you, listener? I mean, fuck, that's such a lovely story. I
It's
like it
so
when
sick.
I like it when a fan causes fandom.
Well, that's what it should be, man. Like, you're making it for us. Let us have a little bit of a say.
Yeah,
If we're
Or,
telling
like
you-
look to the fucking pool of fans who have been like,
Right.
fan
Although
art.
we got to be careful with that because no one believed Heath Ledger would be a good Joker, but
No,
he's
you're
one of the
right.
best Jokers.
You're
so
totally right. Like,
you gotta
Michael
be really
Keaton
careful.
Batman too, right?
For
Yeah.
sure. And also, like, don't ever listen to the fans that have anything where it's like hateful or just coming from a place of like, oh, they're a racist.
There's
Yeah.
there's that.
Their
kind
opinion
of,
should
yeah.
not be heard in any way.
No. What I'm
Um,
saying is hi, Mr. Lucas. Hi, Disney. Hi, Kathleen. I have this really like Patton Oswalt
Yeah.
doing
The filibuster,
the
yeah.
filibuster
Yeah.
that caused
But
the
Dave Filoni was a fan of Parks and Rec. When that episode aired, Filoni himself made a comment of he's like, well, if we were ever to do anything with
Jabba.
with Boba
Boba,
Fett,
sorry, yeah.
we would do that. And Filoni, come on. Because he's right. Like,
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt is known for being one of the biggest
Well, the whole
Star
scene
Wars fans,
rising
too.
from the sand.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
His
all
monologue,
exactly
It's
how he
exact
did
word-
it.
they-
He's coming
yeah,
out of
the
thing.
cut they did after
Yeah.
where they have him narrating and
Yeah.
then the actual footage.
Yeah, it's so
word
good.
for word.
It's so good.
Okay, so we're I mean we did Daisy. We talked about where she's gonna take it.
I like Ray. I think again it is weird. Like it's
I don't not like Ray. I just
it's not her
I want Ray
fault.
to be utilized more.
That's what I'm saying. So I like that while Disney had a choice to be like, fuck, we fucked up with 7, 8, 9. Let's pretend it didn't happen. I like that they're at least giving Ray the chance that she deserves to do something better, do something
know what?
more.
And we could see Finn come
now
back
that
too.
you're watching all the shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9 makes more sense.
It
when
does.
you watch
It does. It still infuriates me, but
Rian,
it does.
Rian, we're talking to you, Rian.
But Finn, like they could bring, they got to make it up to Boyega. They have to fix that relationship with him.
They owe him a lot of.
Well, apparently he
apology
talked to
and money.
Marvel. He talked to the Marvel side. He really wants to play Bishop, and he's been
Oh,
getting
hell
jacked.
yeah, dude.
Dude, he's been getting so jacked. Like I don't know if you guys have seen him recently.
No.
I saw him do. He did like some random. I think he did Skims, like the men's line, a couple like months ago. He's ripped, and he has his hair like Bishop. I'm like, oh my god, fuck Star Wars. Be Bishop. Do both, but be Bishop. Make this guy
Yeah.
Bishop.
But like
he would be a wicked
do
Bishop.
such a good job at Bishop that when Star Wars comes knocking,
Yeah.
first of all, Kevin's like, no, we can't give you
Like, there
him.
was-
Sorry, you
There
fucked
was
up.
No problem. Yeah.
Also,
There
I
was
think
no problem with the acting. For,
No.
for
No,
7,
no,
8,
no.
9. It was,
It
all
was just
story.
Star
and
Wars-
I think Rise
Yeah.
of Skywalker if I haven't seen it in a while, but I think there's a scene where they allude to that Finn could be force sensitive. So
Yeah,
if
they
this,
did.
They do.
Right.
They
touched on
do.
that.
Right.
They do.
So if this is 16 years later and Rey's been making a Jedi Academy of her own, why wouldn't Finn be a
Be there.
Jedi?
I mean, a great place to put Finn is Rey in a battle of some scenario tying
them
in with
together.
your story.
And you
well,
know
no,
what?
she's
I want to see more Oscar Isaac in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No,
Like
like
give me
everybody
his
who's
character.
not the
I don't see
Skywalker
why-
saga, bring them back to Rey's
And again,
story.
it's not like Luke. It's not like after, like after they defeated the Empire, Luke, Leia, and Han were like, okay, see you guys later. I mean, eventually they did in Force Awakens, but not right away is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So,
I know what you're saying.
So why wouldn't they still be friends? Why wouldn't they still be?
They battled
and
together.
Why wouldn't Poe have an academy of his own training pilots? They
Well,
need
and
pilots.
like you need here's what I think.
They
I think
need
it,
pilots.
And then you can bring in the guy from Kim's Convenience.
right.
Yeah, for
But
real,
let's
man.
let's have a Marvel. Let's have a Infinity Stone snap moment where like Rey's fighting. And then Finn shows up somehow and force pulls a
That's what I'm
lightsaber,
saying.
and then Poe flies in with a team of guys in
Right.
X-Fight. Like,
why not open it up like that? And
like-
it could even be like on your left, and we're like, was that Finn? And then Finn just comes in and
this is what
does
I'm
some
saying.
crazy force shit.
And then
right?
now we go,
Why
okay,
not?
everyone likes that. We can do a couple of these movies
Right.
with the three of them
Right.
being
Oh.
the Rey saga instead of the Skywalker saga.
Rose can be
Yeah.
one of their like commanders that like you
Didn't
know.
Rose
like-
die?
No, I don't think she does.
Doesn't she? She doesn't die.
They just silently X'd her off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
just-
again, it was one of those characters.
It's
They
worst.
ghosted her. They
yeah.
ghosted her on
Oh,
the
they ghosted her.
But Rose was working with like Leia's team, like the
Yeah,
ground
yeah, yeah.
people and whatnot. She could be. They need like those people.
Where
to,
are you
like,
going? Why is your bag
They're
packed?
navigators and all shit. So like,
Were you
know what
planning
I
on
mean?
leaving?
It would just be, and again, that would be them 100% being like, you haven't seen this before, but it's continuing a story
Yes.
that we're familiar with.
Yes.
But you've never seen this before. It's uncharted territory. Why not?
I think what happened with that is like I think Star Wars fans and I think Disney. This is what Disney thought was we were so desperate for something Star Wars that they didn't. I'm pretty sure Disney were like we don't care if it's bad. They're gonna like it
Yeah.
because we were so desperate for content. But now
Yeah.
that we're in an age where there's so much content, like now fuck that.
Well,
that's what that's what that trilogy taught us. Like no, even if it's bad, we're not gonna like it. Like make a good Star Wars story. We still want that.
Well,
Like,
and what
that's
they
not
did
We
with,
have thresholds, Disney.
What they did with the mistake they did with Ryan Johnson was they got
Hired
him.
Ryan Johnson.
They got him. to
Didn't
come
watch any
in-
Ryan Johnson's movies.
They got him to come in and do 8.
Looper was good.
Looper's great.
No. This is the Ryan Johnson problem. His movies are phenomenal. The worst movie he made was continuing someone else's story. He doesn't do that. He makes original stories.
Yes.
And he works to the toot of his own drum. But did you see what Kathleen Kennedy did? He was doing Last Jedi. After Last Jedi, he was going to have his own original trilogy to write and direct. That was the deal. So he did Last Jedi and fucked it up because that's what he does. Is he's like, I want to give the fans something. Like, everybody expected Luke to like have a showdown with them, but that's not what I do. And it's like, okay, do that with your original trilogy, with something we've never seen. You don't do that with the legacy characters.
Yeah, no.
See, and then look what happened. He fucked it up so bad. They were like, JJ, come back. And then Rian Johnson, not doing anything with Star Wars again.
Yeah.
But if you go back
to
if you go back to the original announcement too, and you know who was supposed to do episode 9, funny enough, was Colin Trevorrow, the guy who did Jurassic World. He was supposed to do 9.
Yeah.
He did a movie that fucked up. And then after Rian Johnson Nightmare, they were like, nope, these guys are all assholes. So that's why they got JJ
Mr.
back.
Star Trek, be Mr. Star Wars.
Yeah. But again, like Rian Johnson, and it makes sense knowing that, because Claudia was rewatching Last Jedi, and the scene where Benicio shows up, I'm like, what is this? He wrote two fucking movies.
It was a waste of a great actor.
Right. What the fuck was this? And Benicio's such a good actor. He even worked in this Tick, where he's like, does that thing, and I'm like, again, who cares, Benicio? Who gives a shit? You put in all this effort for a character. But that whole thing, again, was Rian Johnson. He suddenly turned it into a fucking Glass Onion. That storyline was like a Glass Onion storyline. And then it was like, oh, yeah, I got Luke. Shit.
What did he do? He did a movie, something Brothers with...
the Brothers...
Bloom.
Brothers Bloom. Great movie.
Unbelievable movie.
Such a good movie.
Like,
So
I don't
good.
think he's a bad filmmaker. I think he just...
He doesn't write other people's stories. He writes his own shit.
He needs his own.
It would be like getting M. Night. I mean, that would be really fucked up. But again, M. Night...
Or like...
M. Night doesn't write other people's stories, right? He writes his own shit. But imagine me being like, M. Night, I need you to take this script I wrote and you make the sequel to it, and that's your reference.
Let's close off the show here with the last segment. Galactic Gamble, Star Wars back at the movies again. So, do we think that they're going to dominate? Is it going to be the pop that maybe the movie theaters need? Is it like... We don't know what the first one is, right? Am I wrong on that? We don't know what we don't have
I think
a release
the first
date.
thing coming out is the Grogu Mandalorian.
Okay, all
so
right.
that's next year.
Yes.
And then the Gosling is 2027.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
they announced an official release date for Goslings.
right there, I think we can all go, we're going with a safe bet. We're going with
Yeah.
a puppet. Do you guys know this, by the way? Do you know that the only reason Grogu exists is
Well, it's
because
Favreau
of...
directed too. They're going.
Yeah.
They're going to what gave them that. nut in the
But
first place.
It is
like-
a little weird to like. I do find it a little weird watching a TV show and then.
finishing a movie?
Yeah, it's a little like I don't
It's
know.
a
I'm
little
still, like,
Arrested Development.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where I'm like you made it.
It's an HBO move, is what it is.
Yeah, and you made the comment saying like, is this the thing the theaters need? I think as long as they don't make it streaming 2 weeks later.
Yeah, you need a
'Cause
90
that's
day.
what's-
I want 90 days of Mandalorian.
That's what's killing the theaters right now. Is I'm
100%.
sorry, if you don't see the movie opening weekend,
You're fucked.
then you're like, well, I guess I'll just watch it next month for the thing I'm already paying for.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a hit, they're gonna have the 90 days.
I hope
if
so.
It's not.
I hope so.
Well,
You know, like
I like Grogu. I just want to say this for a listener who doesn't know.
because you have to have watched the show to watch Mandalorian.
You do.
Grogu.
But do you know why Grogu? Like Grogu is so ingrained in one person's decision in a conversation with Favreau. So in the first
Wasn't it
episode,
the German,
Werner Herzog,
that son
the
of
guy
a
who
bitch.
says,
Yeah.
"I want the baby. Give
Yeah.
me the baby."
He was the one that insisted on it.
He told Favreau, "If you go CGI and this is not,
Yeah,
if this is not practical,
The show will fail.
the show will fail."
Told him that, and he like scared him. He's like, I'm telling you, this show is going to be amazing, but if you guys don't make it a puppet, it's fucked. And Favreau like had like night sweats and was like, it has to be a puppet.
Werner Herzog has been making.
That's why he was in that first episode so randomly. That was like
and
his
never
hit.
again.
And
Oh,
never
no,
again.
Actually,
Yeah.
in the end, he is because
Oh,
when
yeah.
Grief Karga brings,
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
he kills
yeah.
him in the end.
he kills
dies
him in the end.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's right.
Yeah, they do the whole bit. But
That's
like,
right.
that is like for a guy who's made
was
movies
right.
about grizzly bears
Yeah.
and serial killers in prison.
Yeah.
He's telling a Disney director to be like, "Hey man, here's a note."
He was right though.
It's totally right.
He was so
the
right.
only reason Shauna watches that show is because Grogu makes her happy.
Yeah,
Grogu
yeah,
makes
yeah.
so many people happy.
He's
for sure.
good.
He's amazing.
And the idea that it makes you understand more of how badass Yoda was, like his species.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason,
We have a reference point.
they're so force sensitive that a fucking baby can murder people. With
And
the
a
Force.
baby's and they're so like they're
But it's like a 50-year-old baby.
yeah. I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
say I was
right,
gonna say it's
right,
a 100-year-old
right.
baby or something.
Right, so that's got to be part of it, is that they age so slow that the force bond is so much long lasting.
and more powerful
Right.
because they just have if you're around for 100 years, you've got double the lifespan
Yeah.
of a human to
'Cause,
be force sensitive.
You know, when people like, I read a thing that said the reason why Yoda talked the way he did is that his galaxy was so far away, and he aged so slow that was like Shakespearean time when he talked. So then by the time we're seeing his story,
rose is
it's
a
rose
more, it's
by
a more
any other
modern day
name.
English, but he still talks, because it's like, what if Shakespeare,
to be?
like if Shakespeare was 900, he'd probably still talk the way he knew, right? Like, I thought that was so funny. I'm like, that's fucking
Or he
great.
learned English from Shakespeare.
Yeah,
You know,
right,
like from a
right.
Shakespeare in
Or-
the Star Wars
yeah.
universe.
to be or not
That's
to
what I
be.
think.
Oh, I know Earth. Earth was cool. Shakespeare. Yeah, that was a cool planet. Yeah,
2-0 in the writing.
but and that's why I'm like, it would be neat to see Mandalorian Grogu, like
I think it's
Grogu be 15, like what a 15-year-old in his, but then Pedro would be dead.
yeah.
So
There'd 12 new Mandos in between.
yeah,
But I think it's if you're right about that, which I firmly believe you are. It is a smart play.
yeah,
It is the most successful one. It's and it will be a fun theater visit because it's a 4-quadrant movie.
Yeah,
it's,
yeah, yeah.
It's us. It's the
And
kids.
you know what? They don't need to do backstory. It's
Yeah,
already been
there's-
done. So
exactly.
That's what
Exactly.
so in a
Go
way, I'm hoping that they approach it like, if you didn't see the show, you didn't need to. It's like opening up that comic book, and
Yes.
they're like, here's a day in the life of these two
Yeah.
awesome bandits, and we're just gonna see, like, because like kind of like Hook, wow,
Hookah.
Han and Chewbacca. When we got introduced to Han and Chewbacca, they
I'm
had
calling them hookah from
Hookah
now on.
Hookah. They had, I like that actually.
Who? Han and Chewie. Hookah.
They had rapport that clearly these guys have known
Might
each
be
other for a
Hookie.
while.
Yeah, I think
Hookie.
Hookie's better.
Hookie's
yeah,
good.
there you go.
Hookie, I like. They would have, you know what I mean? Why not just do that with Grogu and Mando at
Yeah.
this point? And if you do want to see their backstory, you can. It's there.
Well, and it's
You know?
like it doesn't sound like it's gonna wrap up like the show ended.
Well, that's what I'm
Right.
wondering. So is this the series finale?
I
That's
don't th- I also I think I just heard before I was watching something. They said that they're not sure. They might do something else. They might go back to TV after the movie's done.
This is going to be
but they're
Logan.
not sure.
Pedro's actually going to be like 80 under the helmet. And
Just
it's
kill
gonna
me.
be their
Grogu,
last
just
fucking
kill me.
farewell. Yeah.
Grogu's gonna end
Grogu,
him?
kill me.
Grogu's Weapon X.
It hurts everywhere.
X24.
The beta take doesn't work anymore.
Grogu 24.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if they do it, and I mean, it is this thing. Like the question is the Marvelization risk versus the standalone storytelling, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
you are your own worst enemy when you are a studio because you have money
Well, you're
at being risked for
sales are your main focus.
Yes, right.
Sales are your focus. So at the end of the day, as much as you're
But
like,
do they see the mistake they've made with Marvel being too much? I'm not saying bad. I'm just saying too much.
I mean, you'd
for the-
fucking hope, like you would hope that you're learning from what you're seeing.
You made
partners
mistakes.
do.
Marvel made mistakes.
Like
rushing.
DC saw the mistakes
Yes.
and they're fixing it now, right? Like,
And I'm wondering if the Acolyte was. I mean, did they nip it in the butt?
so
in
they
terms
said
of what
they
see?
didn't renew it
In the
but
bud, Mike. In the bud.
Bud. I like butt.
No, rosebud.
Rosebud.
You're nipping
Rosebud?
it in the bud.
Rosebud.
You're cutting it in the bud.
Whitmer.
I hope they do with Acolyte what they kind of did with like what they're doing now with Alan Cummings coming back as Nightcrawler and
Yes.
Rebecca. Like, I hope they see that the Acolyte worked with the guy with and they, who were they setting up in the cave that
Darth
once-
Plagueis. That's
Darth
that's,
Plagueis.
That's
right.
that's Palpatine's
Oh, wow.
master.
Yeah, Darth Plagueis makes a cameo. Yeah,
He does.
Oh.
That's what I was waiting for. That's what I was waiting
and that
for.
shit worked. So just take that and separate it from what didn't, and just make it that. Focus on that, And like, if that means that they make a Darth Plagueis show to whatever, fine. Or like they use the Ahsoka show to continue Rebels. Find your thing to continue that, because what worked with it really did work, and there's still
Guys,
what I want them is, I'm worried that because the Acolyte didn't work, they're like, nobody wants the Old Republic. And it's like, no, man.
They still
you're
have-
so wrong about that.
Mangold
Like-
still has his movie. So,
But I mean Old Republic from like the Sith's perspective, because that's the real.
That's what I want still.
That's the real Old Republic story. I get what they're doing with Mangold. There is story there. It's cool. But the actual Old Republic story that matters is the original Sith. That Old Republic story is amazing. And yeah, seeing Darth Plagueis fucking take on Palpatine as a little apprentice, what a beautiful way to end
So
that
much.
shit.
Like you could even do like a big part was, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Jedi and the Mandalorians had a war, and the
Yeah.
Mandalorians lost.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
mentioned in
They
the
mention in the
yeah.
Mandalorian, but they don't really like dwell on it, on what
That would
It
be
was
great
like-
to see.
Well,
Yeah.
it was so that war leads to like what happened was they sent the Jedi, who was known as Darth Revan. Basically, he fought in the
Yes.
Mandalorian Wars. Didn't like what happened. Came back as a Sith Lord, and then had a civil war with the Sith Empire and the Old Republic.
And the
Jedi,
games,
Old
again,
Jedi Temple.
just do what the games did. The games were amazing. Just copy the games.
Can, with such an oversaturated market of content and IP-ness, is like Star Wars to me is like Radiohead. Radiohead can go away for 10 years, come back, as long as it's
Daft Punk. They're
Daft Punk, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so I mean, they haven't played in the big screen for a minute, and
When was it? 2019? Was that the last one?
20, I think so.
Maybe 2018?
Yeah, somewhere
2019?
around there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
been 5 years.
Yeah.
At least 5 years since there's been stuff on the big screen. So things have changed. Costs have changed. Star Wars is never cheap,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
I've been to Star Wars Land. I've been inside a Millennium Falcon. That's just a ride, and it's carbon copy.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
if you have to trick the eye of somebody instead of just building a hallway that looks like, you know, where you get out of the cargo containers of the
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon, that's
So you got to walk through the ship?
oh yeah, dude.
Dude.
Yeah, you go
That's
from like a
insane.
stairwell into the loading
That's the
hangar.
line, right, Mike? That's
That's-
like the line where it's part of the line ride. Like, you know what?
yeah.
They have the lines usually have like some sort of. Yeah,
So
Star
the-
Tours had that too.
yeah,
Star Tours
the
did that similar thing.
two-
And then you get to go in the cockpit and shit?
Yeah, I got cut off by some mom and her 2 kids who took the pilot seats, and I got cargo.
Oh, so you
I
got
just hit a
squeezed?
button on the wall that kept pulling cargo into the ship.
Oh, but it did shit?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
everything.
get out of here,
Dude,
man.
so like,
Fuck
I
me.
was there when that was the
So
only
cool.
ride open, but then the Empire ride has opened since,
Oh, cool.
and the hotel is opened and closed since,
Yeah, I heard about that.
and is now just office space. But the new ride is an AT-AT and an ATST.
Get out of
Two
here.
scale, guys. Two scale.
Oh, that's so sick.
Like, you walk
I
in.
still don't know what that means.
Yeah, big, fucking big.
So you have to like go up a stairwell to get into, because that
You
yeah.
don't go in those. You're in the hangar on a base,
Oh my god!
and a group of stormtroopers come out, and
Get out of here!
it's about a 25-minute experience.
That's all they need to do.
Yeah.
Just build the sets.
Yeah.
Just literally build the sets that you guys use and let us go on. Like, they could literally, when they're done with the Star Wars movie, that's their next attraction, is just a set tour.
So you walk
And we'll
up,
get everyone in costume.
you get in line, and the Millennium Falcon is outside, ready to
like
go.
on the hangar, like on the outside.
On the
right?
outside, yeah.
Fuck.
Like I have a picture of it. So, but then you go behind the stairwell system, and then in the wall behind the mock Millennium Falcon is the ride.
Oh
and
my
there's
God.
2 cockpits, just like the cockpits. There's 2 areas.
here.
The chess game,
Yeah. It's
Is there?
Oh.
right? Like, you can sit there. The cargo holds are there.
What
the padding on the wall, like everything is.
What I love is, like, I love that. And then when I was a kid and they would, like, on the Discovery Channel, they would show, like, how we made the Jurassic Park ride.
Yes.
How the fact that that's someone's job and they get to go in there and basically make your dreams come true. Like, I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's what they're doing.
The story goes
Right? Like,
as
that's so cool.
I get
How
there.
do you get a job like that? Like, that's amazing.
They're called something. I can't remember what Disney calls them, but like dream.
Oh, Imagineers. or something?
Imagineers. Thank you.
Imagineers.
That's the
That's
the
so
term.
cool.
So the story goes, I get there. There's a 3.5 hour long line.
Oh fuck!
I got an appointment at the cantina that if you miss, you miss.
And they do have the
Sorry,
blue
Mike.
milk,
Before
right?
you do that,
Yeah.
before you go on, the secret to the 3.5 hour lines is you go to the solo rider line.
Yes,
and you
you
go
do.
right to the front, bro.
Now, I did that. So I get there and I'm like, not waiting in the 3.5 hour line. Ask for the solo line. Just me and Shauna. The lady's like, it's closed right now. I'm like, when does it open? She says, when that line clears out. So now the solo line is maybe an hour to 2 hours until the big line clears out. Then there's the fast pass line that people are just blowing past everybody.
Right.
So I sit there and I bring up the like lost child, my toy, my ice cream is gone, my ice cream has fallen look. And I said, can I just sit down here and wait? And she said, yeah. So I sit down, I pull up my Gatorade, and Shauna's just standing there looking at me like a sad, pathetic puppy. And about 30 seconds to a minute goes by, and she looks over at me and she says, just you and your wife? I said, yeah. She says, get on in.
Yeah.
That is their
awesome.
job. That is
awesome.
their job. Everybody at Disney has that pull
That's amazing.
because it made my dreams come true.
Right, and that's where it's supposed to happen.
In those moments, they are all empowered to grant your wish. It's insane. They just don't bend.
Are you
right?
sure she didn't think you were a sick kid? And she was like,
I mean, I
you
think I
limp?
was still
Did you
limping from my Achilles, so maybe.
She's like, fuck, this kid's like,
But,
how old are you kids?
I mean,
16, 17?
I
Sure.
didn't push. I didn't beg. I wasn't trying to slime my way in. I just said, fine, I'll wait, because I was like, I'm going to miss the cantina, right? I want a blue milk. I'm going to miss it. And then she just asked about, like I said, about a minute
awesome.
later. And then
Well,
she
also
just,
at the end of the day, too, two people, come on.
yeah.
So
But-
the cantina, is there a band?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
They're robotic.
And there's like characters, like people are in
Oh, yeah,
costumes.
dude.
and shit.
Everything is.
Fuck me.
So Cantina was a half-hour reservation. Blue milk was $22. So
What
it was
was
like
I'm paying it.
I
it
would
was a vodka-based drink.
wow.
Shauna had some like
It's like a
Cantilli.
white Russian. Or
Yeah.
a blue Russian.
Yeah, it's
a
like
blue Russian.
it's a blue Russian. It's
It
a
makes sense
milk-based.
why when
yeah.
Luke drinks it, he's like, ugh.
Yeah. And then so you're in there and it's do 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 do.
Is there any like get those droids out of here shit?
Okay, well, there's no get those droids out of their shit, but what there is a droid building facility where you can make your own like 2 foot tall
my
droid.
God.
That's so cool.
And so that's like $150 USD. The cantina's free, but the drinks aren't. As soon as you get up from the cantina and leave for more than a minute, your table's gone because
Yeah,
the next
of
group have to
course.
come in. And
So
then
many people
the
waiting.
lightsaber thing that people have seen in images and whatnot was $275 USD.
Oh, I would have.
Dude, I know it's not
I
a
would've done that.
opportune time to travel to the States from Canada right now, but if they do lower flight prices and prices
Go.
at Disney to attract
Go.
Canadians, I'm fucking going.
I
Go.
told
Fucking
Claudia,
going.
Martin, I told her the exact same thing. I was like, I don't think it's gonna happen, but if for whatever reason cheaps are like the flights are cheap and like our dollar isn't gonna be atrocious there, I think that would be the best time to go.
It is. It's in Hollywood Studios. It is the
No
most
lineups.
unbelievable thing you can possibly like.
I want to go. Like that's
It's-
we want to go to Hogwarts. I know that's Universal. I think.
Yep, just up the street.
So we want to do the Hogwarts experience. We want to do the Star Wars experience.
If
I've
you
never
guys
been to any
decide
of
to
them.
go, I would strongly consider
That
going
would be a
back.
great group trip.
Like it's
Why
that
don't
would
we
be
do a
fun.
real debaters Star
Oh my
Wars
god,
trip?
that'd be
Like-
amazing.
if you do it proper and you don't like you just don't get stupid. Like we would bring food to the park. We wouldn't eat at the park.
Yeah, no, of course.
Right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and-
it's
and
like
then-
I
music
am
fest.
spending all of it on souvenirs. I'm building
Yeah,
a fucking
that's what I
droid.
said.
I'm
No, that's what
building
you
two lightsabers.
Because when I-
Experiences and souvenirs.
I told Claudia, I'm like, we might not ever get to do this ever again. So I'm gonna, since we're spending money we don't have, we may as well get skip all the line pass, like all the shit.
Oh, dude, we
All the
didn't. I
shit.
didn't need a fast pass,
Like-
and I did both sides of Universal in one day without a fast pass inside of 8 hours, and that was because of at Universal, I went to all the solo lines.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Shauna would be at the back, I'd be at
I
the
didn't
front.
even know that was a thing.
It's a thing. Like, if you don't care about sitting next to somebody, and you care about the experience, you both
Yeah.
get off, and you're like, man, that was amazing, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like,
I'm an adult. I don't give a fuck who I sit next to.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
want
I
this
sat
for
next to a
me.
kid and swore when I was on the Hulk,
Like-
and he was looking at me like he'd never heard these words before.
and
And Shauna was taking a video from behind and laughing her ass off.
I get to sit beside Claudia all the time.
Yeah, you don't.
If we just want to experience this, like it would be like we would have to sit in the very front row if we wanted to sit together for a movie, or we could have good seats, but we might sit beside someone
Yeah,
we don't
it's
know.
the family
I'm not
thing,
watching
right?
you. I'm watching the movie, so why don't we just watch the movie then?
Disney
Yeah.
adults are a thing. They know about Disney adulting.
That's awesome.
So it's like when they go, well, yeah, we don't have kids, so there's not 6 of us trying to get on a
Could
ride.
be
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Real Debaters YouTube short and
Oh my
Nerdgasm
God.
YouTube shorts.
That'd be great.
And like Hogwarts at Universal is unbelievable. Those rides were never dull. They were
Yeah, yeah,
never short lines. I didn't go on any of them, but
Well, they opened up the Ministry of Magic, and I was looking at fucking clips of that, and it's amazing.
You go to the back of the park first. Here's the cheat sheet. You go to the back of the park first before you go to the front of the park because everybody instinctually goes to the first thing they see.
Yeah, right,
So
right.
you whip around to the backside. I got on Jurassic Park in 30 seconds. I was on King Kong
they
in
do
under
still
5
have
minutes.
those rides. Oh, yeah.
I was in the Transformers thing in under 10 minutes. Like
Does
every
the Jurassic Park one still like right at the very
yes,
end? The T-Rex.
yes.
Oh, cool.
They have the mummy
Cool.
at the back there.
Ah.
They have the Men in Black thing. Like
And I've only seen these on Discovery. I've never been, but they
Dude.
do that whole like behind the scenes thing.
and like you got to be up at 8. Go there for 9 when it opens.
Dude,
be in the
I
parking lot. Be in the lineup. Like
Claudia and I went to the State Fair in Minnesota. It was like it was like 50 above. It was horrible. But we went at like 8 in the morning and we stayed until like fucking 6 o'clock at night, and we maxed out, man. It was awesome.
yeah, you just
As long as you plan your days right.
Yep.
And
bring
maximize,
food, bring
oh,
drinks.
it's the
don't spend
best.
it. I saved probably $100 a day being in the park just
100
by not.
Totally.
Anyways, but yeah,
Smuggler's
Star Wars World, Galaxy's Edge, Orlando, California, Real Debaters 2026. Sure, why the fuck not?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
down.
I'll be graduated from school.
Yeah.
so-
Oh,
Dude,
fuck yeah.
Seriously. Well, that brings us to the end of our May the 4th recorded on April. What is it today?
I think April
April 18th.
April 18th.
April 18.
And the year of our Lord.
420 Easter.
420 Easter, yeah. Yeah, seriously. Best time Easter. If you've got if you think we missed something, if you want to throw your hat into the ring here at the Real Debaters podcast, we have a voicemail. It is in our show notes. We also have a Quora too if you want to ask a question and get us to answer it. Just hit up either of those links. Amongst those links, you'll also find all of our social media, as well as a link to Charles's Nerdgasm, Emily's Dodgeball, Ian and Diamond. Basically, it's everybody on the show. If you want to follow everybody's shit, it's
Soon
one
to
link.
be Martin's developed video game.
Yeah, if you
So-
want to play a game that Martin's going to be
Holy
getting his hand.
shit.
Martin may put a link up to his first short game. Who knows, right? Point is that if you want to follow the show, if you've liked what you've heard, if this is your first time, thank you to everybody who always listens, but if this is your first time and you're like, what do I do now? You subscribe to the show, you follow
Listen to
our
more.
social media, you listen to more, you go backwards.
What do you have, like 200, more than 200 episodes for your
It's
enjoyment?
281 right now.
281.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Maybe not all 281 are there. Some of them have been blacklisted.
Yeah, you know.
Some of them have been removed because we've had assholes
Some
on
of
the
them
show.
are put on the vault,
Yeah.
and they might not come out of the vault.
Yeah, there's a couple questionable ones where you're like, meh, I don't think we're those people. I think that was a mistake.
We just have to re-render the audio.
Yeah, which we are. we're reduxing everything.
There
This
you
is
go.
my apocalypse now.
Yeah.
I'm recutting everything
This
slowly.
is your THX release.
Yeah, you
that's
get
right.
it's surround sound, baby. But yeah, so we'd love to hear from you. See us at a trivia night. Follow the show. We're going to be out this summer again. We're going to be at the Cinnamon Park for Movies in the Park.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to try to do more stuff. I think Little Brown Jug wants to host some movie nights that we may do a small trivia attached to and
Cool.
be a part of the whole thing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Real Debaters out and about this summer. I've been Yoda.
I'm a Darth Maul cameo that was better than a whole movie.
I am the best dad in the world, the Pedro Pascal podcast.
Oh, nice.
Daddy Internet. Watch all the movies, kids. May the Force be with you. And say bye, everybody.
May the fourth.
Everybody.
May the Fourth be with you.
Hey, that's pretty good.